Okay, this is Pam Smith with Farm Journal Magazine. I'm here with Keith Porter, Dow AgriSciences, and we've been talking today about SmartStax and the fact that that's coming on the market and the IRM requirements that come along with that. Keith, can you tell the farmers a little bit more about that?
Yeah, SmartStax represents the next generation of insect control technology on the farm or in plant. And one of the key features that SmartStax has is a reduction in that refuge that's required. Current first generation materials with in-plant insect resistance have a 20% refuge guideline. SmartStax has a 5% guideline. So again, there's a significant reduction in the refuge to the grower that he's required to plant relative to IRM guidelines that are a part of SmartStax. But again, I make sure that growers understand refuge reduction is not refuge elimination. So the typical patterns of blocking the refuge, etc., and maintaining that are going to be key for the introduction and the launch of SmartStax, because we want to maintain the viability of that trait in the longer term.
Okay, and eventually you are looking at a refuge in a bag concept, but we're not there yet, are we?
No, SmartStax, again, with the 5% refuge, again, it's a reduction in the current refuge requirement, but it is not refuge in a bag or a blended refuge, as you say. Certainly a lot of questions from growers on the launch of SmartStax around, does that mean the refuge is in the product, etc., and I don't have to worry about maintaining that separate block refuge, etc.? And the answer to that at this point is no. Now, as a concept, that is something certainly that we are considering and looking at because of grower feedback in terms of what they might want as you go forward.
And this year there's going to be a launch of SmartStax, but it won't be available for every acre out there, right?
Well, certainly not. But again, the launch of SmartStax that we'll see with 2010 planting from Mycogen and Mycogen SmartStax is going to be the largest that we've had from a trait introduction in our history. But again, when you ramp up to bring traits forward and we look at the corn acres that we see out there, certainly we're not going to be able to meet every grower's demand on every acre, at least in 2010. But our hope is that as we progress forward, 2011, etc., we're going to have those volumes of top-performing Mycogen hybrids that folks are going to want.
So they'll still have to balance the refuge requirement on first generation as well as these new technologies.
Yeah, correct. I mean, so if a grower has the opportunity to plant SmartStax and a first generation technology like Herculex, there are those, again, two separate refuge guidelines that they'll have to follow. 20% of their acres for first generation and 5% for SmartStax. So across their farming operation, correct, there are going to be two refuge components to their operation in 2010.
All right, thanks, Keith.
You bet. Thank you.